Good morning, good afternoon, hello everybody, and welcome to Season 3 of the Almeida Racing Academy. It's going to be an absolute belter of a season. They've had the Global Mazda MX-5, they've had the BMW M2, and now they're really mixed up. Ladies and gentlemen, we move on to the Formula Ford 1600. What an absolute turn of events, ladies and gentlemen, as we go to a Princess-approved track. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Oulton Park. My name is Daniel Zippy Salmon, and joining me in the booth today is going to be Reese, the Southpaw Racer Gardener, along at the production controls, Rob Goatee Campbell. Reese, certainly it's great to be back here with the Almeida Academy. Let's get a couple of thoughts from yourself here on how you feel that this season's going to go.
Yeah, honestly, the BMW M2 last season produced some fantastic racing. We're transitioning into the open wheeler phase, though, which I think is going to bring some different drivers to the fore. The M2 a bit more of a sports car, and it needs to have that sort of sports car racing philosophy put in towards it. But here, yes, we still have a car that doesn't have much, or if anything, in the way of downforce and treaded tires. So mechanical grip and driving technique is still very much a part of everything, but the open wheel nature of this car could lend itself to, I don't know, a bit more on the line, I think, in a close racing situation.
Absolutely, and certainly I may have gate crashed a pit party yesterday and hung out with a couple of these drivers, and actually I think one of them may indeed be in this split. Oh no, maybe not. Jeremy Childers, one of the students, I think he ended up moving into split too, and I got to say, ladies and gentlemen, I consider myself competent in the F1600, certainly around Oulton Park, and it's fair to say that we was literally about 0.2 per second off each other for 6 laps, myself and Jeremy, so a huge shout out to him. And fair to say that the Academy obviously works, don't get me wrong. I mean, I'm not bragging too much. I'm about 2.6, 2.7k IR, and honestly, I was very heavily outmatched in that field. Really couldn't stand a candle to them. So certainly I'm looking forward to some close racing. I do think as well, though, with the open wheel, the driver's going to have to learn another thing, and it's called spatial awareness, ladies and gentlemen. Certainly, in the sports car, there's definitely a little bit more forgiveness. The M2s, you can give it a little bit of a bump, and then sometimes you almost needed to give it a little bit of paint transfer to get the move done. You try doing that in an F1600, though, don't think it's going to end quite as well.
Ooh, no way, no way. You bang wheels in these things, and either or both of you is going to be sent flying. It's certainly going to be an interesting bit of racing here at round 1. Oulton Park, of course, the first round of this season. And we've got quite a nice schedule here. We go to Winton and Summit Point Raceway for rounds 2 and 3. And we've got 2 paid tracks on the roster. Red Bull Ring round 4, Zandvoort round 6, split, of course, by Virginia International Raceway. Zippy, I think this is a great schedule for these cars.
Oh, absolutely. Certainly, definitely some princess-approved tracks on there. Definitely some different ones as well, for sure. Winton, I can't say, never managed to get the hang of that one. But let's take a look at the race format, ladies and gentlemen. Mixing it up a little bit here. So they've had a 60-minute practice with a 15-minute qualifying, and that is an open qualifying, ladies and gentlemen. All cars on track at all times. Heat race is going to be 15 minutes, with the second race being 15 minutes again, but with the top 10 inverted onto a feature race that is 20 minutes long, with the grid being set by race 2. So certainly attrition is going to be a thing. They do have 1 fast repair, and it is a fixed setup. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a test of the drivers, not of the setup skills. And certainly, as well as that, you know what, the 1600, generally pretty stable car. Certainly with the new tire update as well, I did find that stability actually quite increased, in my opinion, Race.
Yeah, I haven't had a chance to drive the F1600 since the update, but I've heard nothing but good things about it. Already quite an intuitive car to drive and produces fantastic racing. We're certainly aware of that, having commentated a couple of full seasons in this car ourselves in other leagues. But here in the Almeida Racing Academy, well, we have quite a strong field getting ready to go here. Andrew Moran, reigning champion of Split 1 last season in the BMWs, currently on provisional pole position. And, well, here's another name for you to default to me for pronunciation, Zippy. Vijay Rajasekaran in second place.
You read my mind straight away, and I got to say, Vijay, it's an absolutely fantastic name. The downside to be if you ever want any personalized stationery, certainly, it may be a little bit more challenging for you there. But I've got to say, there's definitely some names we recognize here in the qualifying standards. Let's give it a little bit of a shout out. Sammy Hendricks, he's one of the new coaches here at Almeida Academy. They did introduce another level. I believe they call it an apprentice coach. And there's both him and Abdul. I don't think Abdul's in this split today. The Abdul Mahmood, I think it is who I'm thinking of. Odd man out actually on Twitch. That's how I remember him more, ladies and gentlemen. But both of these guys, apprentice coaches as well. We see some familiar names kicking in. Fernando Afonso, ladies and gentlemen, the Brazilian driver, certainly one with it for a fantastic fan club as well. Actually, speaking of fan clubs, guy who's in P3 right now, Leon Bentvelsen. I already have 2 people in there cheering him on. We got Kaylee cheering him on. We got Orum cheering him on. We got Heather cheering him on. Absolutely incredible turnout. But there is a driver I do want to bring some attention to. That's the number 29, ladies and gentlemen. That's Ian Joyner. Now, I've had the pleasure of, I'd say, racing against this gentleman, but realistically, I can't even hold a light to this man. He is incredibly fast, especially in rain. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't think we've got any rain in the forecast for the Almeida Academy, but certainly if there is, my money would very strongly be on this gentleman. Another person actually in the rain is the 26 car of Kevin Adrian. Absolutely insane in the rain is that driver. The best I've literally ever seen. Certainly when it starts getting a little bit slippery, that man is a force to be reckoned with.
Oh, yeah, I bet he is. I haven't had the opportunity to really see him in the rain, but I'll take your word for it, Zippy. You've certainly had a lot of experience with these drivers. We're reaching the final few minutes of qualifying, and it looks like we've had Anthony Lanassa going to P3 in the last couple of moments. Of course, once again, it's the same general format of teams as last season. Drivers split into teams of varying colors, and there's an even distribution of iRating amongst the teams, or at least as even as the administrators can get it. So there's a little bit of a team game going on here. Will you be able to help your color to the top of the standings?
Well, certainly, I think that's going to be a good part of it, because the draft in these cars is pretty impactful. But Ray, to tell you what, why don't you do the honors? This is definitely more your forte than mine. Let's get an onboard lap with one of these drivers.
Yeah, indeed. We'll hop on board here in just a moment. Coming through turn 1 at Oulton Park. It's a corner that tightens on the way in, and it's very fast here. Old Hall corner. There's the apex. You need to be careful not to run too far beyond the curve either. You will get an off track. They are running the Foster's layout of Oulton Park, so through Cascades they go, and usually on the Grand Prix circuit you keep turning right, but they go straight here, and then it's a very tight right-hander. Got to be careful not to go too far across that curb on the exit. There's a bump there that will unsettle you. Then it's flat out here through Knickerbrook, and then up the hill we come to Druids. This is one of my favorite parts of the circuit. Narrows up quite a bit. Got to be careful not to go side by side too much around here, because you have a fast double apex right-hander here. So important to get the line right and make sure that you're tight on the exit. Don't want to run into the grass on the exit there. And then we come down into the final corner, hard braking. This is going to be a prime overtaking opportunity here, and then through Deer's Leap across to the start, finish straight once again. Very short circuit here at Oulton Park Fosters. A lap completed in about 1 minute and 1 second.
Absolutely incredible job there, Reese. Thank you very much. And look exactly just how busy the grid is. Ladies and gentlemen, I currently see 28 cars out on the grid, and then a further 6 cars in the session. So I do wonder, don't get me wrong, some of them may have indeed joined the wrong split, but I do see 3 coaches in here today. So I do wonder, are we going to be getting a little bit of a coach battle brewing? We've got Connor Bell, Brian Lockwood, and Kane Halliburton. Certainly Kane, a force to be reckoned with. Absolutely incredible driver. 9,000 IR, ladies and gentlemen. That is... That's pretty up there, I'm not going to lie. It's not the highest I've seen. I think 12K is the highest road rating I've ever seen. But you know what? That is in no way a disservice to Halliburton there. Absolutely incredible talent to reach such a peak there.
Yeah, and he reached the peak in the practice session as well. Halliburton was actually fastest. 101.120 was his lap time, and that's what everyone here in this session is chasing. Very big improvement for JVC Istvan there. coming up from 13th to 8th, I believe, in just that last couple of seconds. And Matt Larkin with a big improvement late on from 17th to 8th. So we're seeing some very good improvements here late on in the session. Only a few seconds left, and because it's a heat session, it means that there is a hard cut to the end of qualifying. So if you're not finishing your fast lap right now, you are not going to get another opportunity. Contact between Team Purple there in the frantic final few seconds of the session. 3, 2, 1, and you're going to see them all disappear off the circuit. Qualifying's over. It is time for the first of our 3 races tonight.
Well, I've got to say, definitely a very close qualifying as we look here at the grid, ladies and gentlemen. We got Andrew Moran. He was the fastest qualifying. There you go. He got the hint. Andrew Moran there on the front row alongside Anthony Lanassa with Vijay Rajasekaran. I think I got that right. I apologize there. In third with Leon Bentvalsen in fourth. Michael Dowden takes fifth with Fernando Alfonso back up there in sixth. Ian Joyner in seventh with Matt Larkin, another familiar name on this show, ladies and gentlemen. In eighth with JBC Istvan sneaking one in at the end at ninth. Edwin Riviera takes 10th.
In 11th place, Cairo Enns and Valdas Vansavicius rounding out your top 12. Sammy Hendricks, lucky 13th, starting alongside Alan Yang. Then we have Mark Frederick and that is Mayan Glixa there in 16th place. 17th and 18th, Mikhail Sabinias and Kyle Diaz Castro. Rounding out that top 20, we have Rudy Filmata and Juhas Jacint.
And as we catch me talking to the chat, ladies and gentlemen, you see in 21st, we've got Lee Martinez alongside Mahid Rahman in 22nd. Sean Haggerty takes 23rd alongside Michael Prachuik. And in 25th, you've got Garrett Land with David Kent. He's back. I remember him getting penalties actually last season. Sorry, David. In 26th, with Kevin Adrian actually surprisingly far back from what I would expect actually in 27th, with Rafael Romansky in 28th. Kane Halliburton joins the coaches in 29th, with Connor Bell in 30th. Brayton Thompson, again, did not set a time in 31st, with Brian Lockwood in 32nd. Jeremy Childers, I don't believe they're in this split, in 33rd. And Abdul Malik Bin Raden in 34th. I have a feeling that the last couple of drivers there, Jeremy Childers and Abdul, definitely not in this split, and certainly Brayton as well. I think they may have indeed joined the wrong session.
Well, we shall see then as the timer hits 0 and the lights go up, and we're getting ready for round 1 of the new season of the Almeida Racing League. And already we've got some drama there on the grid. Oh, that was a slow getaway there from the Team Purple car of Vijay Rajasekaran, and that has taken out quite a few drivers. That is a messy start for many of the field as they come into Cascades for the first time. Andrew Moran was able to avoid the majority of that. Lanassa and Bentvelsen following him. Fernando Alfonso up to 4th.
That was definitely a failure to launch moment there. I do have to wonder if it was a hardware issue or maybe they're just not quite ready to go, ladies and gentlemen, as that car blatantly did not move. And you can already see there that the field has indeed been catastrophically split up, ladies and gentlemen. VJ, definitely not the start they were looking for. It looked like Mark Frederick, Mikhail Sabinares, Garrett Land, and JVC Ispan. I think they may have got caught up in that as well. Absolute chaos. But right now, Andrew Moran, we saw him dominate last season. He's the #1 car. Can he stay at #1 with Anthony Lanassa hot in pursuit in second and the crowd favorite Leon Bentvalsen in third?
Yeah, this is going to be a very good battle. It's also on for 4th as well. Michael Dowden having to hold off Fernando Alfonso. They've been battling hard over that 4th spot over the course of the first lap. And, well, they have Edwin Rivera keeping them very close company. Vansavicius not too far behind either. Seeing that Vijay Rajasekaran said that there was something wrong with his wheel on the grid, and it was not his intention to not move at all off the start. So unfortunate. That has taken out quite a few drivers. Mahid Rahman, Garrett Lund, JVC Istvan, Mark Frederick, and Mikhail Sabinias all getting involved in that somehow.
It definitely was a absolutely catastrophic start, and hopefully he can get that hardware issue fixed. Certainly in that situation, don't get me wrong, you reach for the keyboard as quickly as possible and you back out of the session. If you can't run safely, certainly, you know, do what you can. I mean, I get it, but you can see here, looks like Brian Lockwood's looking a little bit of a battle there, and they're already up to 10th place, as I've just heard. Oh my gosh, that was a Team Blue car And I believe, despite the fact these don't have wings, he may have needed one in that scenario.
Yeah, I think that might have been Sean Haggerty that went completely deep coming into the final corner there, and he's had to tow back to the pits. Man, this is turning into a race of attrition, to be sure. Kane Halliburton and Brian Lockwood now on the verge of breaking into that top 10. Got a few cars here coming out. It looks like a tow complete for Sabinas, and he'll find himself back out on the circuit, though he will be a lap down on everyone else.
Well, we do have a little bit of a replay here, courtesy of our fantastic director. Let's take a look exactly what he wants to show. As you can see, we're on Ian Joyner right now, and this has got to be the race start, ladies and gentlemen. There we go, better camera angle. Let's see exactly what happened. And there, that's the 17 car, just did not move at all. VJ, absolute chaos, pandemonium. I gotta say, the drivers that did avoid that, absolutely incredible evasion there. Oh my, that's upside down, ladies and gentlemen. And definitely not. Oh, piggyback.
Yeah, righto. Wasn't quite expecting that. Well, we talk about coaching moments, and I mean, this is a series run by the foremost coaching academy on iRacing. So I think there's going to be a lot of notes made from that, and a lot of lessons to be learned for all of these students on how to avoid that kind of start incident. It's all about getting on the brakes and just navigating your way through. It is tempting to just put the power down and try and be a hero and work your way through, but it often doesn't work out too well. Regardless, the drivers that have made it through are fighting very hard, and we're splitting into quite a few battle packs here. The top three, they're broken away from everyone else. Moran, Lanassa, and Ben Filson putting on a great show here.
Well, certainly these guys are definitely a fan of getting some screen time, and I got a feeling there may indeed be some strategy there, as that almost looked like contact there, a little bit further back between the red team and the silver team, as you see some lap traffic come out. Who we got here is Edwin Riviera and Valdes Pansivius. I think I actually got that right. Attaboy. Close enough. These guys getting in a little bit of a tangle, but now it appears that Edwin Riviera has lost that spot. He's got a couple of Team Red cars around him, but certainly my sympathy to Valdes. He's going to be in the middle of a Team Red sandwich. And certainly as well, we have seen some of the teams being very proactive, very intentional about how they've been driving those cars. We saw it in qualifying, especially from Team Purple. And I have a feeling, actually, Sammy Hendricks is probably one of the ringleaders of such actions.
Yeah, indeed. Well, here we go in the battle for 11th. Brian Lockwood and Lee Martinez currently leading it up, but it's on for 8th as well. Alan Yang up ahead of Kane Halliburton here, who's just managed to get it done on Cairo ends, and Lockwood follows him on through. So that is solidly into the top 10 for two of our coaches. But the fastest lap so far has actually gone to Lee Martinez. He's set a 1:01.4 at some point, so he's looking quick. Hopefully he'll be able to find his way a bit further forward.
Well, certainly, you know what, when you got coaches around you, you definitely have a whole other level of pressure. Now, I am wondering, actually, come to think of it, do they have the same bonus point system as they had last season? Certainly, I'm thinking of a particular Beaver Block driver, Mike Sargent, who absolutely capitalized on that. Had absolutely zero issues in dicing with the coaches. But right now we see Connor Bell. Certainly, I did see a little bit of a teaser picture of what he's going to be driving soon in the real life world. I'm not going to tell you any more than that, but it's fair to say it's not quite as nimble as this, but it's pretty freaking cool, ladies and gentlemen. And currently, Connor Bell up 17 spots, as is Brian Lockwood up 22 spots.
Yeah, coaches making short work. Oh, no. Who was that? It looks like that was Martinez that spun there at the final corner. So that's another issue at the last turn for someone. Bell finding his way through there. We will pick up Martinez. Oh, yeah. Okay, so apparently we're not able to show exactly what happened to Martinez, but it is something that we see happening quite a bit at that final corner. You just get a bit too much rotation on the way in, and ultimately the elevation change doesn't work to your favor. So he turns in, and whoops-a-daisy, too much sliding on the rear, but that was very well recovered. He was immediately on the brakes, which is exactly what you should do in that kind of situation.
Yeah, definitely. I wouldn't go as far as to call it a save, but I'd say it was a good recovery, ladies and gentlemen. Certainly that corner as well, 100% agree with you, Reese. If you're going to spin out anywhere on this track, I'm pretty sure that's going to be the best spot. Certainly myself, it's where that caught me the most. And I think the biggest way to explain it is honestly weight transfer, ladies and gentlemen. As we see from the back here of Andrew Moran, ladies and gentlemen, you can see Anthony Lanassa. It looks like the Andrew and the Anthony battle, it continues. Leon Bentbelsen, he's right behind as well. And there is 0 team tactics that can be in play at this point. We've got Team Blue, Team Purple, and Team Black, ladies and gentlemen. And you can see there Michael Dowden just, actually, no, that's lap traffic. That's Mahid Rahman. My apologies there in 30th place. If he can get onto the back of this battle, it may help pull him away. But at this point, his race is pretty much spoken for. But Andrew Moran holding on. He's maintained P1. Anthony Lanassa held P2. And Leon Bentbelsen just up the 1 position in P3.
Yes, behind them, the battle between these two Team Blue cars of Dowden and Afonso. They were battling a bit on lap 1, but they seem to have settled into a rhythm here. Maybe they'll try and work together to catch up to the podium. Still have just under 7 minutes remaining in this race, so plenty of time to get that done there. Alan Yang, meanwhile, behind Valdas Vansavicius here. Looks like he's trying to follow through for a move. Oh, yeah, contact behind. It looked like that was Rivera and Halliburton coming together ever so briefly into the first turn.
It's almost like, you know, you're just going to give the coach a little bit of a dead arm just to see if you can poke the bear and they'll bite back. And certainly, you know what, he got away with it on that occasion, but Halliburton did manage to take the position away, and he's got his next sight set on the Team White cars, a double duo. Now, I have got to wonder, is Yang and Vesuvius, are they going to work together to basically block Halliburton? I mean, they've definitely got the cars to do it. Have they got the strategy? Have they got the communication? Have they got the skill to try and hold behind them the 9,000 iRacing Almeida Academy coach? As you see here, the battles continue. Halliburton up 21 spots, Lockwood up 22. Incredible battle, and you can see there, Halliburton boxed in, nowhere he can go.
Oh, and onto the grass as well. But he still gets the move done on Vansavicius. That's fantastic driving from the both of them. Room being given. Valdas sticking to the inside there. Totally had the right to do that. And Halliburton had to find his way around the hard way.
All right, now it looks like we've got a little bit of a procession going on with the Team Red cars just behind as well. They've got to make sure that while they want to race, they want to focus on the target ahead, ladies and gentlemen. Edwin Riviera is leading that pack. You got Cairo Enns as well. And actually, that looks like a couple of lap cars. Now, Ian Joyner, he got caught in that first lap incident, and he's probably going to be one of the quicker drivers on the grid. Sorry if it sounds like I'm a bit of a fan. I've just seen this guy drive, and I know he can wheel this car. Very much he can wheel this car. So you got to wonder, can they play a tactical thing? Can they put Ian in front to almost pull them along? Or is it a case of, you know, you're lapped, you know, please move over? It's a hard one to call. Certainly, Ian Joyner, his 6,000 iRating. If it was me, I would want him to get as much tow as I possibly can. As you see one of his teammates in front, and he has to go right off the gas there. But I do wonder, are these guys losing time to the battle ahead of them? You can see there, Edwin's are absolutely pulled away in just that lap alone. Pulled away about 2 seconds, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, it's interesting. It looks like Joyner and Phil Malta actually a lap down there on Cairo Enns. So looks like they were involved in something. Yeah, looks like they had to take pit stops for damage repair. I don't know if they were involved in the start incident. They may very well have been, but regardless, they are not competing with Cairo Enns and Connor Bell for position. They are trying to consolidate their spot there. Well, keep our eyes on Mr. Halliburton as he finds his way forward. And speaking of finding your way forward, Anthony Lanassa under pressure from Leon Bentbelsen. He's going to try and go around the outside at the final corner. Remember, that is a lapped car behind them. There's not going to be much of a competition there from Mahid Rahman, but Fernando I've clicked to completely the wrong spot there. Bentbelsen going wide out of turn 1. It's Mikhail Pritchuk who's in the white car behind them.
Well, certainly, I'll forgive you. Fernando Afonso was in Team Purple last season. As we see there, a bit of a slide there. Is this the opportunity? That almost looked like contact there. And you know what? If I was Michael Pritchuk, I think I would be backing off of this. These guys are going to tangle if this can carry on. Incredibly close, and I can hear the crowd cheering, ladies and gentlemen. By cheering, I mean the chat is going absolutely nuts, and that's a subtle hint, guys, to show just how happy you are that Leon Bentvelsen has moved himself into second place. He was Team Blue last time, he's Team Black, and right now rocking second, 2.5 seconds behind Andrew Moran.
Yeah, the battle between Bentvelsen and Lanassa has given Andrew Moran 2.5 seconds worth of breathing room, which is exactly what you need around a track as short as this. Lanassa now coming back on Bentvelsen. Inside move at turn 1. It can be done, but Bentvelsen is no stranger to finding his way around. He has to give up the spot for now, but he knows that he can get it done. Just enough room to the inside here to get up the inside through Cascades. Lanassa now on the defensive once again, but he got it done around the outside last time. Could get it done this time. Almost banging wheels through the right-hander. Bentvelsen back to second.
Well, certainly this battle does continue oh my gosh, try again. Epic fail. This battle does continue to get even spicier, ladies and gentlemen. Certainly my vocabulary lacking a little bit there, or just a little bit of a deficiency. You can, guys, by all means, make a joke at my expense. If not, Reese and Rob will do it for you. Certainly no shortage of those. But the battle for second is indeed getting spicy. Actually, throughout the field, it's kind of spread out a little bit for the most part. Certainly that first lap incident, but I can see 1.5 minutes left to go. Is it going to stay in this order? Certainly, Lanassa is going to be keen to get that move done, but I do feel a little bit concerned there with the lap traffic, as it looks like there's a battle happening behind as well. Fernando Alfonso and Michael Dowden are going side by side as they're heading around turn 1.
Yeah, Dowden trying to take the position back here. Afonso attempted a move on him at the final corner, and now the Team Blue cars through Cascade side by side. Certainly don't want to be in this position, but there's enough curb there that Dowden was able to keep to the inside and consolidate that position. Well, you know what that battling's done? It's brought Halliburton right onto the back.
Yeah, definitely risk versus reward now. You may indeed be able to take on your comrade, but are you going to be able to take on Halliburton? Certainly the number 16 car is indeed a potent one on the grid. Well, it's not the car, it's the driver. 100% the driver. It's a fixed setup series, ladies and gentlemen. And a quick reminder as well, the drivers did have one spare car available. Certainly a few of them definitely cashed that one in. But you can see there, this is exactly what I'm on about. Team Blue absolutely shutting the door there. Nowhere for Halliburton to go. And if they can keep doing that, oh, the gap's open. He's going to go on the inside. No, not quite enough space. He's trying, and he's being absolutely squeezed. We're going to go 4 wide into turn 1. Very wise move there from the Team White car to back out. I can't blame him there, but Halliburton has indeed snuck through. His teammates got to run. Can Alfonso and Dowden work together to conquer the Academy coach?
Oh, contact between Dowden and Halliburton. They bang wheels through Cascades and turned around behind is Fernando Alfonso. And that's going to grant Alan Yang sixth position, though unfortunately he's lost his nose cone. It is the last lap, though, and Andrew Moran, long way ahead. He is approaching the final corner. Oh, side by side again between Bentvelsen and Lanassa. They're going to keep fighting over second until the final few meters of the race. Oh, Moran's going to take victory up ahead of these guys, but Lanassa just gets back by Bentvelsen at the right time, and it looks like he's held on to second place. Halliburton and Dowden side by side out of the final corner. Easy does it. Oh, there we go. Halliburton just wins it.
That was incredible, guys. I've got to say, points for Alan Yang. Look at this, Team Red, absolutely formation. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're in Team Red right now, you could have honestly done a flying V at that point. The Mighty Ducks would have cheered. We would have found the song for you, took the copyright warning just to do that moment, ladies and gentlemen. As there's battles happening as well. Kyle Diaz-Castro going side by side with Kevin Adrian as well. And we may indeed have a battle further back as well for 27th place. Certainly one of the most unfortunate guys on the grid, Vijay Rajasekaran. I do apologize, ladies and gentlemen. Certainly we need to work better on that. With Garrett Lund, they're about 0.6 seconds between them. Definitely not what they were looking for, but what an incredible first race. But I have a look, ladies and gentlemen, Kane Halliburton up 25 positions in that race. Absolutely incredible.
That is insane stuff from Halliburton. Of course, he and the other coaches either black flagged or disqualified from the race so that they may start at the back once again. So those are your results then. Moran, Lanassa, and Benvelsen are your podium for the first race of the season. Michael Dowden and Alan Yang rounding out your top 5. Vancevicius officially classified in P6 from that, with Rivera, Martinez, Afonso, and Hendricks rounding out your top 10.
You see there a return for Matt Larkin, albeit in P11 this time, with Mayan Gliska in P12. Juhas Jacint in 13th. Carl Diaz Castro, that's one of the admins here at the Almeida Academy, in 14th. Kevin Adrian there for Adrian Autosports in 15th. Rafael Romansky was 16th, with Kane Halliburton in 17th. 17th? I felt sure he was further up than that.
He gave himself a black flag.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Michael Pritchard in 18th, with Ian Joyner in 19th. Rudy Filmata takes 20th.
Yep, rounding out our field, unfortunately.
Here
we go. We're going for race 2. Yep. Okay, so take that top 10 and flip it, and that's where they start here. Sammy Hendricks on pole, and they are away. Afonso in second spot. Clean start thus far. A lot cleaner than race 1, at least.
Yeah, it's fair to say everybody did indeed manage to get off the line, which is definitely an improvement, as that's gone quite wide there for Afonso. I imagine he definitely would have gotten off track for that. As you can see, absolutely incredible pack so far. 2 wide, 3 wide in places, ladies and gentlemen. And you can see there the action continue. One of the coaches, that was a bit of a nudge there from one of the coaches. Definitely some contact involved. And oh no, there's been an incident. That's one of the Team White cars, Team Purple. And look, everybody's trying to get out of the way and try and get by.
Yeah, looks like Mark Frederick having to do some lawn mowing there. It's unfortunate to see that was the result of that. But, of course, depending on how things go, if a coach is deemed at fault for an incident in this championship, the points that they adopt go to the driver that they affected in that incident. So that's one little benefit to these drivers. End of lap 1. Sammy Hendricks off to a solid lead already, but Rivera under a bit of pressure here from Martinez and Afonso. Have a look at the line of cars behind them.
Well, I gotta say, having a quick look as well at the hard chargers right now, and VJ, despite that disastrous start, up 8 positions. I say that's all going to change. Huge incident further back. Good news for Sammy Hendricks. He can try and pull away a little bit, and you can see a lot of the cars, but absolutely huge incident as it continues. That's Fernando Afonso, ladies and gentlemen, having a hard time keeping it together today. Certainly been unstuck. Ooh, questionable rejoin there.
Yeah, well, look to me like Alan Yang made contact with him on the exit of turn 1, and Afonso went a-spinning, and unfortunately, it seems Afonso might have been in a bit of a rush to get back to the racetrack, so that might be another small coaching moment to come out of this one. Regardless, looks like things are still relatively clean up the front of the field. Valdas Vancevicius trying to defend from Leon Benvelsen here. Benvelsen back up to 5th place, and he's working his way nicely here. Might see a move at turn 1. No, he's going to back out of it. Discretion is the better part of valor when it comes to the early stages of such a competitive race.
I am just hearing from Connor Bell that both himself and Brian Lockwood are out. I think they intended to black flag themselves and accidentally disqualified themselves instead. A little bit of overkill. As we say that, speaking of kill, that's a Team Red car just definitely gone off there. Oh, and I can hear more. Oh, dear. Edwin Riviera, definitely not what he was looking for. As we see, I think Michael... Somebody else just absolutely catastrophically fell through the order as well. I think Mikkel Pritchard got caught in that as well. I'm not entirely sure, though.
Yeah, it's difficult to tell, honestly. But it looks like it might have been Rajasekaran. He was fighting with a Team Blue car and unfortunately overcooked it into Foster's corner. And, well, ultimately, the driver that he hit didn't end up spinning, so I guess that's a small blessing there. Meanwhile, Andrew Moran just found his way past Benvelsen to get into 4th spot. Benvelsen is very wide there off the exit of turn 1. What's going on there?
Well, it looks like there's only so much real estate available here at Oulton Park, and everybody wants to have a piece of the action. 3 wide, that's not going to end well, and somehow they've managed to get by. Kane Halliburton still in it by a miracle. I thought he was going to get absolutely wiped off the face of the planet at that point, but 2 wide, 3 wide in places, ladies and gentlemen, as the racing continues. We're on board with Halliburton now, chasing down the Michael down and ahead of him, ladies and gentlemen. Well, that says the number 1 car. I felt sure it was somebody else. Moran's number 1. We got some mismatched numbers here.
We've got a 0-1 for Michael Dowden. There is round the outside, tries Halliburton. He was on the racing line, but ultimately inside line wins through the final corner. It looks like Halliburton might have to find his way back past Benvilson in short order here, because Leon's up the inside into turn 1. A little bit more of a fling into the corner. They're side by side on the exit. Valdas Vancevicius, meanwhile, has got Lee Martinez for very close company, and Martinez is going to take second round the outside of Cascades. Up the inside at Foster's. Can he get it done? Very narrow corner here. They bang wheels, but they get through.
I gotta say, fantastic move by Martinez. It almost seemed like he absolutely, just mugged the guy at that point. Snuck through, and absolutely, for lack of words, a baller move, ladies and gentlemen. And that's one thing, but he's got to hold on to it. You can see Valdas right behind him. Andrew Moran, he's definitely going to be keen to try and move his way back up, as is Anthony Lanassa. But incredible fight. The lead pack still very much, not together at this point. The lead pack's checked out. Sammy Hendricks has just gone, thank you very much. Blasted 5 seconds away, and then is where the action starts with Lee Martinez.
Yeah, this is great. It is a battle for second, and what a battle it is. We've got something like 8 cars involved in this battle. That's very wide there. Keep it on the track. Alan Yang in the white car at the back there. Goodness me, I'm having to catch my breath constantly here.
I'm pretty sure somebody wrote a song called Catch My Breath. Anybody in the chat, by all means. Oh, damn it, Mr. Yang. There was not much in that gap, certainly. I felt the squeeze as we got a wreck behind. That looked like one of the Team Black cars. And that's Mayan Gilkska, I believe, falling through. I've just watched him tumble down the order a little bit there. There's the rejoin. Number 15 car, definitely getting caught out a little bit there. And they're going to have a slingshot from the Team Blue. I believe that's a lap car of Mark Frederick going by. But I've got to say, that battle, I was to look at the timing screen from P2 all the way down, ladies and gentlemen. It still goes down to about P21. They were within about 1.5 seconds of each other.
Yeah. Oh, God, that's massive. JVC Istvan and Fernando Afonso, I believe, coming together there. Alan Yang coming to the pits. It looks like he might have some damage to repair. Goodness me, so much is happening at once, and we're not even halfway through this race. I will say, though, okay, that looks like a botched pit entry there. And I think JVC Istvan will be very frustrated indeed. He was frustrated at what happened on lap 1, race 1, and the night's just not gotten better for him. And it looks like we had a big change back for Lee Martinez. He's fallen from 2nd to 12th.
Well, I do wonder, I think he may have had an incident here. I think Rob's got a replay for us as well. So there's Fernando Alfonso. A little bit of a tangle there with the 222 car. Actually, sorry, 222 is Fernando Alfonso. Had a little bit of a tangle there. Not quite enough space left, but I do wonder exactly what happened to Martinez as well. Let's take a peek. So here he is at the front of the pack here. As I've just heard, there's been another incident. I can hear it going off in my ear. You see a pressure being applied from behind and just solo spins it, ladies and gentlemen. That's who we saw having a little bit of a puff of fire smoke there. But thankfully able to rejoin with no damage.
Yeah, fortunately, and the curb that he came to a stop across is the same curb that took out Mayan Glixer. Oh, no.
No.
Oh, no. Who on earth? Fernando Alfonso, things have just gotten ever worse for him. And now Kyle Diaz-Castro with issues. This race, too, has been nothing short of chaotic. Can I finally get my point out about that curb, guys? Calm it down. Glixer caught the bump on that curb that I was talking about in qualifying.
Certainly, you've got to race not just yourself, not just the opponents, but you've got to race the track as well, ladies and gentlemen. Certainly, there's a couple of tracks where there's a big sausage curb. I'm actually thinking of when we was at Charlotte with that turn 1 there. Yeah, you definitely got to keep that in mind. Right now, we're on board with Matt Larkin. Certainly, we had great teamwork from him last time, and he's trying to work together with Kevin Adrian, I believe. And I believe Mahid Rahman ahead of them is also in Team Purple, ladies and gentlemen. No, Team Red, I'm colorblind. There you go. No surprises there, ladies and gentlemen. As you can see, these guys and a lapped car coming back out on the track as well. But certainly an absolute concession of cars all the way from P2 down to about P11 now at this point.
Yeah, we'll keep our eyes peeled on Juhas Jacint, who's had a reasonably good race here. Made his way up from 13th place. Mahid Rahman right behind him, though, looking for a move. Mahid he went down to 28th place in race 1. That's where he started for this one. He's going to make it up one further position here to make it up 20 in this race. What a drive so far.
Well, that is exactly my style of driving, ladies and gentlemen. Can't qualify to save my life, but I can certainly shift through a pack, ladies and gentlemen. But indeed, survival seems to be a key part of this series right now. And certainly race 1, I'm going to kind of give that one a write-off. I think that was, it was definitely not planned by any means. But you see the battle here is going for P4. And once again, Leon Bentvelsen, if he gets any closer, he's going to have that nose cone in the tailpipe of that car. Fernando Alfonso's in front of that. Now, you got to wonder as well, it is his teammate who's trying to get that position. But as a lapped car, you don't really want to interfere with that, Definitely want to try and help your teammate. By all means, try and provide the draft. And I think Leon Bentvelsen is very aware of that, trying to catch onto the back of the Afonso's car and capitalize on that slipstream.
Yeah, but Dowden's giving him little taps on the way out of the corners there. I think I could count about 3 or 4 times. Bentvelsen was almost sent into a slide. It's absolute knife-edge stuff here. This is why we love F1600 racing. It's just magnificent. The closeness, the competitiveness of this series and any series that races the Ray FF1600 here on iRacing. Well, let's see if Dowden has any other response to Bentvelsen here, who is well in the slipstream of Afonso. There goes Kane Halliburton round the outside of Andrew Moran at turn 1 to get into second place.
Well, absolutely incredible battles there. Halliburton is absolutely, he's certainly taken to the F1600 like a duck to water. That's been a big incident further back. That's Bentvelsen. Bentvelsen's gone off. I wouldn't rejoin just yet. Certainly, they've seen him coming at least. And that was another contact with one of the Team Purple cars as well on the rejoin. It looked like the right rear and the left front did indeed make collision. But Bentvelsen now trying to hold on. It's a lapped car behind him. It's VJ as he's trying to recover. Definitely not what he wanted to have happen, as there's action happening up further ahead as well. Mahid Rahman and Valdas Vancivius going at it for P6.
And you know what the worst thing was for Bentvelsen? It was completely not his fault. Afonso actually caught the grass on the entry to the corner ahead of him, and Leon could do nothing to avoid that, unfortunately. But we'll keep our eyes peeled on the replay here. You see that Afonso caught the grass and had a big old slide ahead of Bentvelsen, who fortunately gets it recovered behind them. But man, that's not what you want. Bentvelsen, apparently with too much damage, he's had to go into the pits, and Afonso has a mechanical black flag as well.
Yeah, definitely not the race that Afonso was looking for. He may have already indeed used up his spare car as well. So certainly a room for improvement there for the 222 machine. But right now we're on board with Halliburton. He's in P2, but for how long? Andrew Moran is definitely going to want to not just take that podium, but move further up the field. Sammy Hendricks, it's fair to say, we've not seen him much, ladies and gentlemen, because he's literally checked out in first, 5.5 seconds ahead. A boy, he's definitely making most as well. I believe they're called novice coaches. I was checking with Abdul in the chat just a little bit earlier, but great job there by Sammy Hendricks, really capitalizing on that invert grid. But there's battles continuing. You can see there further back, Andrew Moran applying the squeeze there to Kane Halliburton.
Yeah, certainly. And Michael Dowden's just come into the pit lane. Yeah, so I'm not seeing a mechanical black flag for him, but it is a drive-through, apparently. Too many incident points for Michael Dowden. Oh, that's such a shame. It always hurts when you get a penalty for exceeding the incident limit. Well, he's going to have to find his way forward in race 3, potentially. Remember, they get 5 extra minutes in race 3 to race their way on. For now, the camera moves to Kevin Adrian, 7th place at the moment, chased down by Juhas Jacint and Matt Larkin. Now, we've seen that Matt Larkin can certainly get the elbows out when he wants to, and well, they haven't got too much ahead to Valdas Vancevicius either. Well, a bit of side-by-side up ahead of them. It looks like that's Vancevicius finding his way past the lapped car there, the Team Blue machine. Is that Afonso? I think it might be.
Is.
But yeah, so let's hope that Afonso doesn't hit the grass ahead of those guys and have the same thing happen to Leon Bentvelsen as did to them.
Oh, certainly, definitely unlucky, but I believe. Oh, as they say that, the 25 car. Who's that now? Getting into it with the 23, ladies and gentlemen. That was definitely contact. It's Haggerty and Bentvelsen, so these guys are definitely going at it, and certainly Bentvelsen, the biggest cheerleading section this season, and I've got to say a huge thank you to them for coming along. By all means, ladies and gentlemen, share the video feed with everybody you possibly know. Have your family watch, and by all means, we want to see this getting more and more around. Obviously, the more you guys subscribe and stuff like that, the more that we, get more bigger interest and, start to be able to give a bit back to you guys. Certainly, I'd love to be able to give some prizes away and stuff like that. But, you kind of need to subscribe to help us do that. But right now, we're looking at a battle for 13th place. Well, it could be 13th, 14th, and 12th, ladies and gentlemen. As you see, Cairo Ends, Mayan Gliska, and Michael Dowden going at it. And in this situation, the 15 car of Gliska is outnumbered. And, tank slapper.
Oh, dear.
Oh, just dodges the wall. Good save.
Yeah, easy to do on the grass. Unfortunately for Glixa, not the first time we've seen them have the track or other cars get the better of them. It is the final lap, though, and we should be finding our way to the finish very, very shortly. Sammy Hendricks is finding his way through Druids and towards the final turn here at Oulton Park. And, well, it looks like we are going to have two different winners from the first two races of the season so far. Can we get a third winner in race 3? Hendricks across the line to win, and that is one of the biggest winning margins I've ever seen in the Almeida Racing League.
Oh, absolutely. You see there, Halliburton able to get the better of Moran at the end. But I've got to wonder as well, if I understand this correctly, ladies and gentlemen, as Kevin Adrian, he's still going at it there. Huge fight. Oh, bit of a wiggle in the back there. Oh, oh dear. You have to get
interesting after the finish.
Yeah, a little bit, but you can see that I do have to wonder as well. If I've understood this correctly, Reese, I believe the results from this will trigger the grid for the feature. In which case, Sammy Hendricks, he started on pole. This is nothing but good news for Team White, and certainly for Sammy Hendricks as well in that 31 machine.
Yeah, certainly. Hendricks is going to have the biggest advantage of all coming into race 3 as the final few cars come across the line. Well, oh, goodness. After that second race, I'm thinking, who needs caffeine? I'm probably going to be staying up until 3 in the morning on the adrenaline from this one alone. But, yeah, Sammy Hendricks winning from Halliburton and Moran. Lanassa and Rahman rounding out your top 5. Kevin Adrian, Vansavicius, Larkin, Yacint, and Martinez rounding out your top 10.
As we have a look there, David Kent was in 11th with Cairo Ends in 12th. Michael Dowden took 13th with Leon Bentfels and the sadly getting caught in that incident in 14th. Rudy Filmalta in 15th. Excuse me, Sean Haggerty in 16th and Mayan Gliska in 17th. That was the guy who did the pretty fantastic almost save there at the end we saw in Team Black Car. Garrett Lund took 18th with Michael Prachuk in 19th. And Alan Yang, he lost a nose cone before and ended up with a drive-through there. He's there in 20th.
21st place, also a lap down, was Fernando Afonso. Mark Frederick following him. Edwin Rivera, 23rd, followed by Sabinias and Diaz Castro. Vijay Rajasekaran, unfortunately, in 26th place. It was a very rough race for him. Same for Rafael Romansky and JVC Istvan. Ian Joyner and Brayton Thompson, your 30th place there. I believe Thompson was one of those drivers that was in the wrong split. So it's 29 cars here in split 1. Well, we're in the warm-up now, Zippy, and I'm looking forward to finally getting a breather from all of this.
It's definitely been a very intense opening round so far. Certainly, some very interesting driving, and yeah, that's a very good point, Reese. We should really get to the sponsors as well. Now, I did get a little bit up because certainly we got a new sponsor here for the Almeida Academy this season, and it is indeed Podium 1, ladies and gentlemen. So I was just checking out their website actually, and it looks like they have an experience center in Nashville and in other cities. So they decided to build some of the best sim rigs on the market for a great price. And they found too many offering too little for way too much. In other words, the bang for buck is pretty up there. They started by us getting into sims ourselves as track season was coming to an end. In other words, same as most people, certainly out in Nova Scotia,
Yeah.
it's not it's not summer and 65 year round or something. I can't work in the funny units, Reese, but you get the point. But certainly, the weather isn't always the best for racing. Certainly not with slick tires. Certainly not here. We're rocking about 5 degrees Celsius recently, ladies and gentlemen. But they wanted to keep the NL race in the winter, and that's basically how they came around. And they taken experience from other businesses to reach out directly to major brands and creating relationships to get the best products to offer to their customers. And their goal is to achieve a close to lifelike experience. Taking pride to make sure that they sell and deliver is something that they themselves would use. And actually, as I have a look at the like the staff bios and stuff like that, I see Steve Palladino. He's definitely a driver. He's rocking a McLaren. Lucky guy. Nice. Oh, dude, it's gorgeous. Like, absolutely gorgeous. And obviously, it's British as well. So, biased opinion. You got Chandler Wendler. He's rocking a Lambo by the look of that. But both of these guys, beautiful sim rigs as well. Some really nice gear. Definitely a little bit of a shame that they were using Recaro seats. Obviously, Recaro in a little bit of hot water at the minute, fair to say, having a little bit of a restructure there. But as I have a look through the staff, you can see most of them so there's an M3, there's an M2, there's a Corvette, looks like a Golf GTI. Are you seeing a pattern here? A 128 or 135 BMW, an M4. Mustang, that's definitely not a V6. I can see the 5-liter badge from here. Another M3, a Supra. Like, these aren't cars that are driven just for a commute, ladies and gentlemen. These are people who are interested in driving. So certainly, you know what? That's the kind of person who I would want to be dealing with getting me a sim rig. So by all means, check them out. Podium1racing.com.
Absolutely. I believe we also have Logitech on board to sponsor this season of the Almeida Academy. Of course, wheels equipped with True Force feedback to help you feel the road and own the racetrack. It's certainly awesome to have them on board. My first sim racing wheel was a Logitech. In fact, my first 2 sim racing wheels, and I got a lot of great miles from Logitech hardware. Certainly fantastic to see them on board for this series, as well as World of Racing, Zippy.
Yeah, I'm just having a quick look at their stuff as well. It looks like they're more into the sim experience, and it says experience the thrill of real racing, and you can book your race. And I gotta say, website's absolutely beautiful. Some nice looking gear as well. I do spy a full motion platform. Gosh, I'd love one of those. I don't know, Rob, have you ever tried, this one's aimed at Rob because I can see Rob being more into this. Have you tried motion? I know that's one of the toys that you don't have. How do you feel about that?
I haven't, Zippy, but it's definitely on my bucket list to give it a go. But I actually hear that motion makes you a little slower, actually, because you're reacting to the movements. So I'm not sure if there's truth to that, but that's what I hear.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if Rob can indeed afford to get any slower. Certainly myself, I can't. And if not, you know what? We'll get Rob in motion and get me on a static rig. But ladies and gentlemen, that just about ends the warm-up as they're getting ready to grid. And yes, indeed, it is the same order. Reese, take it away.
Absolutely. Well, we have, of course, Sammy Hendricks on pole position with Kane Halliburton alongside him, Andrew Moran and Anthony Lanassa on your second row. We have Mahid Rahman and Kevin Adrian, 5th and 6th, 7th and 8th. Valdez Vancevicius, Matt Larkin in that 8th spot, with Juhas Jacint and Lee Martinez rounding out the top 10.
You see there in 11th, it's going to be David Kent with Cairo Ends in 12th. We're going to try and get through this as quick as we can. Michael Dowden in 13th, but Leon Bentvelsen pushed back to 14th.
We're going.
Oh, yep. Bye for the grid, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, goodness me. Away we go then for the start of race 3. Whoa. And of course, Kane Halliburton not taking to the start. Big old puff of smoke as we get things going here. Hendricks, a fantastic getaway from this grid. And Andrew Moran having to hold off Anthony Lanassa here. Will they be able to find their way to victory here? Oh, my goodness. Yeah, that's a big old further back.
That looked like it hurt, ladies and gentlemen. I could feel the pain from here, but I gotta say, that was the quickest Cucaracha line I've ever seen, as that was very aggressive.
No.
Who's that? Bentvelsen, absolutely, for lack of better words, murdered on that occasion. I gotta say, he was along for the ride. I do want to know exactly who hit him. Definitely a very aggressive move there. Don't think it really paid off for him. I think both cars came a little bit unstuck, but we got right now, you can see here, the guy's just trying to stay in single file. Sammy Hendricks has not been able to pull out. Let's see exactly what happened. There's Bentbells, and he gets tagged. Who's out on the inside? The 17 car of VJ. So definitely a new driver here to the series, and I gotta say, definitely in some very hot water with the stewards at this point.
And it looks like that was Alan Yang off at the final corner as well. Man, this has been a race of attrition at the back, and it's getting interesting up at the front. Sammy Hendricks is under all kinds of pressure. They're 2x2. Noah's arcing it through the opening corners, and Andrew Moran will try his best to go for the race lead here. But what I've seen at these corners is the outside line is usually the one with the advantage. But Andrew Moran getting the better run up the inside of the fast right-hander. Mahid Rahman on board with him in third place. He can't take his preferred line. He's got Anthony Lanassa to his left.
Well, this is going to be incredibly tight, as he's certainly doing an absolutely fantastic job side-by-side racing, just a couple of feet apart, at times just a couple of inches, and he was also the hard charger in the Heat 2. As you see there, that's a hell of aggressive move in the background there, trying to sweep to the other side of the track, but the battle for the lead continues, and it's almost formation flying, ladies and gentlemen. You've got the 11, you've got the 31, it's Hendricks versus Rahman, and, Rahman. As you can see, Moran has been able to take the front line, as Rahman takes second.
Oh, this is Sammy Hendricks facing a ton of pressure here. He just threaded the needle there between Lanassa and Rahman to find his way to the outside. And he stomps on the brakes too hard. He's around. Careful, everybody. Got to stay right on the edge of the corner. That's a good recovery there from Sammy Hendricks. Didn't reverse back out onto the racetrack. And I guess there's enough space there for drivers to know that he's coming. So, wow, that has been a big change for the lead of this race. And Andrew Moran looking at the possibility of being a two-time winner from this round.
Well, it's certainly unfortunate for Sammy Hendricks, but I've got to say, huge respect for doing the clean rejoin. You can see there he was driving along the grass just to make sure there was enough real estate left for him. It dropped him back to 21st place there, as something's happened with Kyle Diaz-Castro as well. I see he's just plummeted through the order, but right now, Moran under pressure there from the number 11 car of Mahid Rahman, doing everything he can. And you see there, Anthony Lanassa there, he's going to get a little bit of a run. Is he going to be able to capitalize on that? Certainly Team Purple, very much potent in the top of the pack. Can they make a team effort there to try and secure the podium?
Oh, this is the question. A lot of momentum through Foster's there for Mahid Rahman. He almost caught up to Andrew Moran, nearly tapped him around, but he gave up some momentum on the exit. And now Anthony Lanassa finds his way into the slipstream. Druids is a difficult corner to make passes at. Have to follow through here and make sure that you get a great exit, which is exactly what Lanassa does there. But moving to cover it there is Rahman. Front row seat here for Valdas Vansevicius. Up 2 spots here. And Mahid Rahman tries to go for the move there. Big slide. That was a real save there as he tried to pass Moran. It just didn't work.
Honestly, if the Toronto Maple Leafs had a save of that talent, they may not actually suck as hard as they do. Certainly anybody in Canada, you just either cheered or threw eggs at the screen. And don't get me wrong, I've had people throw eggs at me before. You're not going to faze me. Certainly not throwing them at your own TV screen, ladies and gentlemen. But I'm pretty proud of that joke. I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. But right now, Rahman with the absolutely phenomenal save. He's been able to hold on to P2 as we look further back in the field. You've got Garrett Lund right now. He's trying to take away P8 from Mayan Gliska.
Yeah, Gliska here with some difficult goings on in the second race, but he, as well as Garrett Lund and Mikhail Pritchuk, all up 9 positions in this race. That is some solid running from these 3 that round out the top 10. Hopefully they'll be able to hold on to that, because they have Sean Haggerty and Kane Halliburton trying to cover them off there. Rudy Philmalter and Edwin Rivera trading spots for lucky 13th spot just behind, and Fernando Afonso fancies a chance to find his way past as well. But he'll have to wait for another opportunity.
Well, certainly if I was in that 222 machine, the biggest thing I would have learned from this race is low risk, high reward. And certainly, actually, my iRacing mentor, he's currently in split 4, I believe, Mr. C.R. Reed. huge shout out to him. And I got to say, huge thanks to the stewards as well, who gave him a penalty last season. Believe me, I took great satisfaction in giving him a hard time for that. And I'm sure it was very well deserved, ladies and gentlemen. No criticism of the stewarding team here at the Almeida Academy, which has actually been, they've changed the format they're going to be doing it now as well. It's not going to be like an after stream kind of broadcast going over incidents. It's going to be independently reviewed. There is a dedicated person doing it. So my sympathies to that guy. You're going to be a very busy man after this round. Certainly, we're watching the top split. I do wonder about the other three, but Michael Dowden right now looking to try and make a move with Matt Larkin ahead.
Yeah, indeed. Larkin holding on to 6th spot. Dowden up 6 spots in this 3rd and final race of the night. Larkin having to go defensive. Valdes Vansavicius having a good view of this in his mirrors, but going a little bit too wide there off turn 1. We've already seen quite a few drivers have to take drive-throughs thanks to exceeding the incident limit. And running wide at turn 1 is one of the ways you can get up to that limit. Look at that move there. Didn't work out for Michael Dowden, but he and Matt Larkin having a great time there. Unfortunately, they seem to be losing touch with the top 5.
Yeah, certainly you've always got to wonder how hard do you want to fight the guy ahead of you, or do you want to try and slipstream and move up? But right now, Andrew Moran is still leading this. He's definitely been under pressure for the entirety of this race. He's up 2 positions. Mahid Rahman up 3 positions. Actually, speaking of positions gained, having a quick look right now, I do see multiple drivers up 9 positions, and Edwin Riviera, he's up 10. So certainly the hard charger right now going to the number 10 car, up 10 positions. What's the odds of that?
Yeah, this is fantastic there for Rivera. As defensive now, has to go Andrew Moran. Trying around the outside of turn 1, Mahid Rahman. He gets it done and straightens up the car earlier for a better exit, but he's going to see some strong fighting from Moran here. Andrew's going to have the inside line for Foster's, but a bit later on the brakes is Mahid, and he carries more momentum through the corner to try and keep the position, but he's still not quite clear of him. Up the hill they're going to come side by side. This is a great opportunity for Lanasa and Adrian to make life difficult for the top 2.
Well, certainly Kevin Adrian will be very aware of what can happen if these guys tango, and I think there's a reason he's hanging back in 4th right now. He's got his teammate alongside him of Anthony Lanasa. Some of the piss have got my my comrade giggly. Reese, what's pulling your chain right now?
Oh, just racing. It's fantastic. Side by side through Druids just then. And look at the oversteer from the number 11. The number 32 is right amongst it now. Lanasa has a strong chance of trying to be an outside chance for victory here, and we got to think about Valdes Vansavicius as well. Just behind them, he went steaming into turn 1. He's gone wide and into the wall.
Well, Vansavicius has generally been a very good, very clean driver. Certainly not been on the hotbox radar for this. As you see there, the 15 just goes and sneaks by. But right now, we continue with the battle right now for the lead. Mahid Rahman has managed to get his way to the top of that pack, albeit only just, you see, a little bit. It's us kicked up behind us. Rahman gets a little bit of a little bit looser. Actually, no, that's the number 11. Yeah, that is Rahman. Gets a little bit loose, and he's gone from 1st to 4th. Certainly, the cars are so close together. Any little mistake will see you catapult back through the standings as Moran regains the lead. And Anthony Lanas is back in 2nd, and Kevin Adrian, he's definitely planning that approach. He's now in 3rd.
Every single time they come up to the middle of a corner here side by side, my heart is in my mouth. Seems like these guys are just inches away from disaster at every single point around this lap. We're about to come up on the halfway point here, Zippy. This race is far from over. Look at the dive. Look at the contact. Kevin Adrian gets sent around, and oh no. Looks like it's taken Matt Larkin out as well.
Oh no, a little bit of friendly fire there perhaps, and certainly once the incident started, you know, it was pretty much along for the ride, but definitely catastrophic for Team Purple, really suffering for that. But Anthony Lanasa, he's still going to be able to stay with Andrew Moran. These guys did a nice solid 1-2 earlier on this evening, earlier on today, ladies and gentlemen, and I have a feeling that they will very much work together. But let's have a quick look at this replay. You see Kevin Adrian in the number 26 car just gets tagged on the inside, ends up smoking his teammate, nothing he can do. I feel bad for him because he's very much, I felt he was along for the ride for that one.
Yeah, that's sad, unfortunately. you know, you try the move and it's very high chance that you'll bang wheels on your way through turn 1 here. So basically that has thinned out the battle for the top 2. It is now just between Moran and Lanassa. But here's Kane Halliburton, having just taken the fastest lap of the race as he finds his way into 8th spot. And he's going to try and get past Michal Presiuk here. And it looks like Michal there was deciding, yeah, all right, no point in really fighting this. I'm just going to allow Kane to go through, and maybe I can find a way through when he gets amongst it up ahead of me. I think that's a smart decision.
Yeah, definitely. I've definitely taken that approach myself before on occasion. You know, if I know that I'm going to be completely licked by a guy, you know, then I will generally concede and try and tag with them. But that's only good if I can stay close enough to do so. But right now, we've got another battle happening back in 18th place. Alan Yang, he seems to be getting very popular on the screen. Fernando Alfonso, Ian Joyner, and Matt Larkin. Actually, no, that's Bent Bells, and my apologies. I'm looking at it the wrong way around. So let's have a quick look here. Oh, that wasn't smart.
Oh, no. Ben
Oh.
Velzen and Yang. And
He's
Hendricks.
cocking his
No,
leg.
that's Sammy Hendricks. Oh, no. That's Sammy Hendricks that found his way into the gravel with Ben Velzen there. That was a confusing incident from my point of view. I might need a second look at that just to see exactly what happened. But that's not what you want to see. Both of those drivers have potential to be finishing on the podium in this race, and now it's a practical impossibility for them.
So let's see exactly what happened here. So there's Alan Yang having a little bit of a scenic detour there. Sorry, Alan. And Liam Bentvelsen cocking his leg there on his opponent, the 31 car. Sammy Hendricks.
We're trying to catch it, but unfortunately, it just looks like they came
together
in the
background
into the braking zone. I believe we're back live.
Okay,
oh no, here we go. Right, so Benfelsen made contact with the Team Blue car there as he tried to go for the move, and that unsettled him and just sent him into Hendricks.
Yeah, it almost looked like I don't think he realized that he was there on the inside, like the speed of the move, or it was a case of, you know, I'm ahead, I'm going to cut across quickly, and maybe the gap just wasn't quite as big as he thought, but certainly, definitely an unfortunate end. I have a feeling Ben Belsen may, maybe at fault for that one, despite being a crowd favorite. Ladies and gentlemen, you know, drivers do, we're not all perfect, ladies and gentlemen. I know, you know, it may be surprising to hear that, you know, Reese and Rob are not perfect. By all means, you know, I would be shocked too. But right now, these guys are having a perfect race. That's further up, and that's Andrew Moran. As we see here, we've got back to Sean Haggerty now. He definitely got involved in a little bit of spice earlier. Let's see exactly what
Lanassa!
The replay.
Lanassa just spun out of second spot.
Oh.
There he is. He stopped there on the exit of the final corner. He gets going, but that has completely released Andrew Moran. This is how it happened, coming down to the final corner, and I got on the brakes a bit too late. Tiny bit of contact there, locked the rears, and the car just got unsettled.
I got to say, fair play to Lanassa as well for a safe rejoin. Certainly, he could have caused a bit of chaos, but that has indeed, as you said, released the 1 car, not the 0-1, which is a little bit confusing. We got 1 in first and 0-1 in second, so it's almost like a double duo there. But interesting. Maybe we'll see about getting some numbers switched out just to make it easier for us here. But Kane Halliburton right now, he's currently resting in 4th. Hard charges as I have a look. VJ is up 16 spots, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, that's magnificent stuff there. VJ finally having a good race, and I hope I haven't just commentators cursed him, because he's having to go defensive here as Mr. Frederick there up behind him manages to find his way at the inside on the exit of the final corner. And, well, it's cleanly done. Lots of space given. But need to keep an eye out for Rudy Filmalter there. He's looking to have a run too. Good momentum coming out of the first corner there. But he can't take advantage down through Cascades. Might be able to find his way past here. That's very wide for VJ, but he protects the inside perfectly.
Yeah, definitely a little bit of over under going on there, and it looked like Rudy was going to put a nose in. I know I certainly would have done, not quite close enough to put the mark on that corner, but certainly applying the pressure there as he's fighting to get that 11th spot. Ladies and gentlemen, all these points count, not just for the drivers, but for the team as well. And I've got to say, a lot of cars from Team Red making it into the top split. Certainly seems to be the busiest class, and as we've got a battle here for 18th between Sean Haggerty, Rafael Romansky, and Lee Martinez.
Yeah, Martinez on the recovery himself. Remember, he was fighting for second place early on in the race. Well, has to make some room for Haggerty there as, oh dear, maybe I have cursed Vijay Rajasekaran. He's just have to come into the pits, and I think it might be for a drive-through.
Well, certainly, it's definitely easy enough to get some off-track excursions here at Oulton Park, but generally, you know what, in a 20-minute race, even if you did a one off-track per thing, you know, you still got a little bit of freedom. So maybe you're getting a couple of 4Xs there, maybe a 2X here on occasion. Certainly, VJ definitely not had the best of luck, ladies and gentlemen, certainly this evening, rated around 3,400 IR. So definitely, you know, have a look at the safety rating actually of VJ. I do wonder, certainly some people will treat a league race very differently. You can see there, oh, Sammy Hendricks 1.4 safety rating there. Certainly that's my kind of territory, ladies and gentlemen. Not that we judge here at Pit Road Productions.
No, I'm no stranger to a few incidents myself. Halliburton, meanwhile, finding his way into second spot, and Michael Dowden's trying to give him one heck of a race, make him work for it here. Mahid Rahman still there as well in the midst of this podium battle, as these guys are now nearly 4.5 seconds behind Andrew Moran, who's just minding his own business at the front of this field. He survived all of the pressure. He has kept it clean, and I suppose that's the reason why he's the reigning champion of this series.
Oh, 100%. And he knows exactly what he's got to do at this point. Just got to keep it clean, bring it home. You don't need to be setting fastest laps right now. He's got 4-second gap, about 2.5 minutes left to go. As long as he can keep it clean, he's pretty much set. But there is definitely a battle going on for second place with Halliburton, Dowden, and Rahman. I've got to say, Rahman, new to the series, I've got to say, he's proved to be quite a potent driver. Definitely a hard charger, and currently right now resting in 4th place. And rated around 3,300 I rating as well.
Indeed, he managed to find his way up from 28th to 5th in race 2, and well, he hasn't made too much more headway in race 3, but still, you know, amongst the kinds of drivers that are in this series, that is no mean feat. Mayan Glixer and Valdas Vancevicius just traded spots for 5th place here. And oh, hello, this is quite the battle. Seems like Michael Pritchuk and Garrett Lund are right in the midst of this, as well as the recovering Anthony Lanassa, who's just lurking in the background there. Lanassa might still get a top 5 from this if everything goes his way.
Well, certainly, oh, hang on. Whoa, so I've just heard from Connor Bell that Mahid Rahman has gone up around 2,000 I rating this week, ladies and gentlemen.
That's crazy.
That's insane.
That's is...
Like...
Oh! Ooh. A little bit of contact there. Looked like Vancevicius getting a bit of a shuffle, and the front right, not a huge fan of that. But yeah, that is very impressive there from Mahid Rahman. 2,000 I rating just this week. I mean, I'm at about 3,000 I rating myself. I wonder how much I'd be able to gain if I was in the midst of this.
Well, certainly, it does appear that we are going to have to start taking part in the academy. And Rob there in my ear just saying, yeah, we'll let Zippy be the test mule for certainly trying to you know, learn the academy. In other words, there's more room for improvement, I think, is what he's trying to constructively say while roasting me politely. But Mahid was also last season's overall champion as well. And to be fair to say, I'm not surprised. He's done an incredible drive so far. Currently resting in 4th place, 6 temps back from Dowden. Can he capitalize on that and force himself onto the podium? As I see there, Vancevicius has indeed had an incident.
Yeah, and it looks like Pritchuk and Glixer have also had a problem too here on the replay. This is the run up to Druids. Oh dear, 3-4 cars involved. Lanassa just picking his way through that with a bit of damage. No, that's just made things way worse there. Oh no. Oh boy. Well, how things can change in the blink of an eye.
As you
White
see the
flag.
white flag. Yeah. Carry on, Reese, carry on.
Well, yeah, I was just gonna say Lanassa coming in there as well as Rivera, damage, black flag. It doesn't really matter at this point. It's just crazy the fortunes that we've seen rise and fall over the course of this event. Still fighting going on here. Ian Joyner trying to find his way past Matt Larkin, but Larkin steadfast in his defense. Meanwhile, through the final corner, car number 1's about to finish P1, Zippy.
Well, fair to say, Moran, we know he's potent, we know he's talent, and definitely another well-deserved win by Andrew Moran. I'm hoping that there's more of these academy drivers that can politely give him a hard time, as Halliburton's going to cross the line in second, Dowden in third, Mahid Rahman, absolutely incredible driver. Great to see him here in the top split. He's in fourth, but Alan Yang certainly having had a mixed night this evening, and he's looking to try and get a position there on Rudy Filmata right at the end. It's going to come down to a drag race, and I just don't think there's the real estate there for him left to do it. More battles happening back. You can see Matt Larkin and Ian Joyner going for it, almost 3 wide across the line. More battles, ladies and gentlemen. Get your photo camera out. Photo camera. Get your camera out for a photo finish, ladies and gentlemen. More battles going on.
Yeah, I wonder. I don't know what else a camera does other than take photos, Zippy. But one thing's for sure, there were a lot of photo opportunities in this race. Fernando Afonso, the last driver to cross the line, one of the last anyway. There were a lot of varying fortunes from this first round of the new season.
Yeah, I've got to be honest, like, don't get me wrong, if you're in the driver's seat and it happens, it sucks and the teddies full on go out the pram. But if you're in the commentary booth, it makes for very entertaining racing. Not just we've seen the closeness, we've seen the competitiveness, but we've also seen it's been like popcorn, Reece. Certainly you put the kernels in, you turn the dial up, and ow, away they go. Certainly some caramel dressing will be applied in terms of some penalties. I'm sure. My sympathies to the stewards. But Andrew Moran taking that win yet again. Congratulations to him. Kane Halliburton in second with Michael Dowden in third. Mahid Rahman in fourth with Garrett Lund in fifth. Rudy Filmata not quite able to sneak it away actually from Alan Yang in sixth, with Alan Yang in seventh, Matt Larkin in eighth. Ian Joyner, certainly who I did expect some good things from. Not quite getting the start that I was expecting today. Get caught up in a few of the incidents today. He's in ninth with Lee Martinez in 10th.
A good run up through the field from Rafael Romanski, meanwhile. Started 27th, up to 11th. That is very significant indeed. Mark Frederick up 10 spots to 12th, 13 spots up for Vijay Rajasekaran, and that is with a drive-through for incident limit points. So good to see that he finally got a reasonable result from this race in spite of the issues that he suffered. Mikhail Prechuk in 14th, big drop for Anthony Lanassa, down to 15th place. Could have been fighting for the podium. Cairo ends in 16th with Mikhail Sabinias in 17th. Afonso Vancevicius and pole sitter Sammy Hendricks round out your top 20.
And as we have a look at 21st, ladies and gentlemen, Edwin Rivera there in 21st, and Mayan Gliska in 22nd. Kevin Adrian, definitely I feel for that guy. He's there in 23rd with Claudias Castro, one of the Almeida Academy admins, in 24th. David Kent, I do remember his yellow BMW very, very potently, ladies and gentlemen. He's there in 25th. Juhas Jacint in 26th. Sean Haggerty, we saw him get caught up, as did Leon Bentbausen, JVC Istvan, and then Brayton Thompson, I believe, was indeed in the wrong split, ladies and gentlemen, as I believe Connor Bell is currently trying to gather some drivers there for an interview while we're taking a little bit of an ad break, ladies and gentlemen.
If you're a racing driver and you want to reach an advanced level, there's a faster and easier way to become competitive. I've gone from this to this in 5 years. Now, we've created the perfect free driver development guide to help you understand the right order of racing skills to develop if you want to become a competitive driver as quickly as possible. This guide was made after 3,000 hours of combined high-level coaching.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Certainly, what an absolutely incredible round for the Season 3 of the Almeida Racing Academy. And I got to say, well, the Almeida League, it's, you know exactly, Almeida Racing Academy. Thank you, Rob. Well played, sir. And no, he did it just to be a smart ass, but you know what, it worked, ladies and gentlemen. But we are currently waiting on a couple of drivers to get in here for an interview. Certainly Andrew Moran, it'd be good to chat to him. And basically whoever Connor Bell wants to send over, certainly, you know, I think they may be having a little bit of a, they're in the cool down room right now, but they've not made it over to the Pit Road Productions Discord, which is exactly where they need to go. But I gotta say, Reese, an incredible first round. I mean, that was Oulton Park. Definitely one of the tracks I would have preferred to drive. I do have to wonder if we should try and sneak in a Pit Road Productions entrant here, but certainly we'd need to find somebody to drive it for us. We've got a good portion of the staff involved in this broadcast, certainly a three-man show, delivering our best work we can do possible, ladies and gentlemen. Certainly we've got Rob at the controls, thankful for that. But Reese, what was your, some of your concluding thoughts and some highlights here from the round one?
I think my big concluding thought from this round is I think there's going to be a concerted effort from the drivers, the stewards, the coaches all together to clean things up a little bit for the remaining rounds of the season. I mean, it is the first round of a new season, new car, and obviously the drivers need to get used to that. We did see quite a few big incidents, particularly on the opening laps around here. So I think there's some good learning opportunities to take from this round and apply to future ones as well.
Yeah, definitely. I think race one, if you're having a bit of a hardware issue, I think if the car's gridded up, I think the best thing, honestly, just back out of the session. Save it. So, like, you're going to survive your other competitors, but definitely a little bit of moves that are maybe a little bit too keen. And I do feel as well, the open wheeler, certainly netcode will be a bit more of an issue, but I didn't really see too much of that. Certainly not from the camera views that we had, ladies and gentlemen, but we have been able to catch up with some people for an interview, and I think we should probably start with, with the race leader. Ladies and gentlemen, Andrew Moran, absolutely fantastic result for you today, sir. Tell us exactly how you pulled it off.
Yeah, it was really good qualifying. Thanks to Michael Dowden. We had a really good game plan going in, just to draft and switch off, and I got pole in the first race, so that actually made that one pretty easy. Everyone played nice. And I got fortunate. The second race, I was starting P10, was really rough. Trying to get through everybody, it slowed me down a bunch. I think at one point I was like 7 seconds off the leader in P2. So that was tough, and Kane came through. But then that last race, that was battle from the get. A lot of people were trying to fight, and but it was good. I feel like pretty clean passes and good racing, so it was a lot of fun. Dangerous though.
Yeah, it definitely was a very spicy race indeed. Certainly, for earlier on, Sammy Hendricks able to absolutely capitalize on the chaos. But yourself, I've got to say, you've had to work your way through the field a little bit there. Managed to stay out of the majority of the incidents, and for that, I definitely congratulate you. Certainly, last year's top split winner, and a huge congratulations to you. But Andrew, before we let you go, is there anybody you'd like to shout out?
Blue team did a really good job on the comms. Appreciate all the help. So, yeah, go Blue team. Thanks, guys. Appreciate the stream.
Well, thank you. A huge thanks to the blue team, and indeed, congratulations to Andrew Moran. Great job done by him. As I understand, Reese, you've been able to catch up with Michael Dowden.
Yes, indeed. Dowden joins us now, and well, it was a bit of a up, down, and then up again night for you. 4th in race 1, 13th race 2, and 3rd in race 3. You certainly had to do some fighting tonight.
Yeah, it was a lot of really great racing out there. There's a ton of battles. That second race, I definitely think I would have finished in the top 5, but there's a couple incidents ahead of me, and iRacing decided I was at fault. So I got like 12x in one corner, and I got black flagged. So still getting to 13th despite that was good. And then race 3 was pretty crazy. I couldn't believe that I was able to get up to the front pack from 13th and get on the podium at the end.
Yeah, certainly a bit of an experience for everyone in this field with the swap to the F1600 for this 3rd season of the league. What are your thoughts on the car?
Well, I actually raced this car in real life, so I'm obviously a pretty big fan.
Nice.
But yeah, I think I like it a lot more than the M2. But that's probably just from my own personal struggles of driving the M2. So I think the 1600 brings good racing, but yeah, I think people gotta get their spacing down a little bit. Felt like people were trying to squeeze a little too much, which is a lot more dangerous in an open wheel car.
Indeed, and there's going to be a lot to talk about to come this season, Michael. Congratulations on your results today. Is there anyone you want to give a shout out to before we let you go?
Shout out to Andrew. We worked together pretty much during the week, and we worked together in qualifying. We would not have been as high as we were in qualifying without each other. So we're going to keep that up in the next week.
Absolutely. Well, thanks very much, Michael, and good luck for the next round.
Thank you.
And finally, Zippy, it looks like Sammy Hendricks might be ready for a chat with us here.
Well, I've got to say, Sammy, it's great to see you back. And certainly, you had a pretty easy time at some points, not to take it away from you, but certainly, you started at the front of and just ran away with it. But certainly, for the feature race, definitely not had the same kind of fortune. Ended up getting involved in that little bit of an incident there. So, Sammy, tell us a little bit. Certainly, you were one of the key team players, certainly last season. To tell us, now that you've kind of, switched to the other side, tell us a little bit about what you've been doing to kind of, keep your team going.
Well, I've been trying to find white memes. I'm having a hard time finding any white songs. Clearly, every Google search for white comes off really oddly.
Yeah, let's call it that. Okay, but I gotta say, Sammy, I'm gonna try and dodge a bullet there before somebody puts one in the chamber and points it in our direction. But I gotta say, it was a fantastic drive. But I also understand that you are one of the newly appointed novice coaches here at the Almeida Academy. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, so I was given the opportunity. Brian saw something in me. Shout out to Brian. Shout out to the coaches. Always getting better. Yeah, honestly, I'm still improving. They have faith in my coaching ability somehow. So I'm just gonna roll with it and give it a chance. If anything, I'll learn something and better myself as a human being, right? So we'll see how far I get. It's definitely not a given. Still gotta work hard, and I'll start doing some free coaching sessions here soon. So that'll be fun. I've been putting in the work, so don't be shy.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, certainly Sammy Hendricks, you saw he was potent in Season 2 and has proved to be potent once again in Season 3. And not only that, he's now one of the novice coaches, and I believe it's you and Abdul, if I remember correctly, the pair of you who are novice coaches. Certainly we had fun watching you guys in Season 2. But before we let you go, Sammy, is there anybody you'd like to shout out?
Dog, wife, Brian. 3 most important people in my life. Yeah. All right. Take care, guys. Also, Split 2 was a fun drive. Got to take those opportunities when they present themselves. So, anyway, take care.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that was Sammy Hendricks. Certainly, flying against the sun a little bit at moments there, but thankfully we had the appropriate sunscreen, and I know that sunscreen is definitely not going to help you if you're that close to the sun. But what an absolutely belter of a first round, ladies and gentlemen. I fair to say, I've very much enjoyed it here. It's definitely, I agree with what a lot of the guys have said here in the interviews. Definitely, maybe a little bit more space needs to be left. I'm thinking definitely a little bit more low risk, high reward. Certainly, there's a little bit of disappointment there from some aspects that the amount of incidents here. But I gotta say, it's a debut round, it's a different car, and again, these are all people who are looking to improve. And you know what? If incidents is where you need to improve, that is probably the most straightforward thing for you to try and work on. Certainly, it could be easier than finding pace. You just got to allow a little bit more space, ladies and gentlemen. But I'm sure that the coaches, the staff, will indeed address that, and certainly these guys will improve. But until then, ladies and gentlemen, my name has, and I guess always will be, Daniel Zippy Salmon. And joining me in the booth was Reese, the Southport Racer Gardner, with Rob Goatee Campbell, ladies and gentlemen, at the production controls, and doing a little bit of commentary every now and again as well. But that's it for us. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you next time. Oh yeah, we're clear because it's we're only hot in the iRacing one, right? Yeah.